Welcome to uBooks. In this video, I will help you in creating the sales transactions. If user wish to create a sales invoice, click on sales invoice in sales transaction. User can see the list of invoices which are previously created here. Click on new sale. In left side, invoice from details are organization details of the user. Invoice to details needs to be filled by the user. First, user has to select the party type, whether it is a business to business transaction or business to customer. Business to business transactions include all registered customers, and if that is unregistered or consumers will be considered as a business to consumer transactions. Once the party type is selected, select the party name. Based on business to business transactions, only registered customers will be displayed in this list. Select the customer. Once the customer is selected, locations, GSTing number, and ship to locations will be displayed from the masters. And based on the party type, place of supply also will get pulled here, and user has to fill the sales order number and sales order date if any sales order created against this invoice, sales order date and delivery date and payment terms. Once the payment terms are entered, the due date will be calculated automatically. There is one more option called send invoice to email. If user wish to send the invoice copy to any of the email ID, user can enter the email ID here so that the respective invoice copy will be sent to the mentioned email ID. Once the header details are filled completely, click on add item, select the item. Once the item is selected, the HSN code will be pulled from the masters, and based on that the tax rate will be calculated automatically. And if the item is exempted, check this option and enter the exemption code. Enter the quantity, select the UOM, that is unit of measure, select the unit price, select the account under which the amount needs to be posted. Discount. If user wish to give any discount to the customer, then select the discount type, whether it is an amount based discount or percentage based discount, and enter the value here so that it will calculate with the quantity. This is how the taxable amount will be displayed, that is quantity into unit price minus discount, and IGST is calculated based on the place of supply. The taxable amount is 12,000 rupees and the GST applied on it is 2,160. The total value is 14,160. This is how user can create a sales transaction. Now user can either save it or save as draft. If user wish to make any changes before creating the invoice, you can save the invoice like this. Once the invoice is saved, this is how the preview will be displayed, and it will also show the status of the invoice as invoice. User can directly record the payment from the same screen or create a debit note or credit note or return using the user friendly navigations. And if user wish to edit the invoice, user can edit the invoice before filing, or user want to take a printout of this invoice, click on preview and click on print to take the print of the invoice, or user can directly save the invoice and send the invoice copy in the email as well. This is how user can create a sales invoice. Now we will move to sales return. Click on sales return option, click on new sale return, select the party name. Once the party name is selected, system will pull the location from the masters. User has to select the invoice number under the selected party, select the reason for issuing. So this is a sales return. So select sales return. The invoice quantity is 1. So return quantity is also 1. So directly user can save this transaction. Once the return is done, a credit note will be generated automatically by the system. This is how user can record the sales return. Now we will move to sales credit note. User can directly click on sales credit note from this page, and these are the list of credit notes which are previously created. Click on new credit note. Select the party name. Once the party is selected, it will display the location, and user wish to change the location, user can do that here. Sales invoice number. Under MK Traders, user has to select the respective invoice. Once the invoice is selected, in line item level, it will display the list of items under the invoice. First, select the differential amount. So the actual amount is 6,000 rupees and the quantity is 2. If I wish to reduce the value of the invoice of 1,000 rupees each for each item, enter the differential amount as 1,000 rupees and select the item. So 1,000 rupees is the differential amount for each quantity. So system will calculate 2,000 rupees as a taxable value and the GST as 360 rupees for that. So the total value is 2,360 rupees. And also select the reason for issuing. This is how user can create a sales credit note. Now we will move to sales debit note. Click on new debit note, select the party, select the respective invoice, enter the differential amount for which the invoice value needs to be increased. So the quantity is 1 and the differential amount is 1,000 rupees. So the taxable value it is taking as 1,000 and GST is applied on it as 180. total is 1180 rupees. So once the party is selected, user has to select the reason for issuing the credit note or debit note. I'm selecting it as other and save the transaction. A supplementary invoice, that is a debit note, will be generated once user saves the transaction. This is how user can select a sales transaction, returns, credit note and debit notes.